Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thank you so much for joining me for Try It Out Tuesday. Today we're going to create a birthday card. We're using the Birthday Pop stamp set. This is actually on sale right now. Now if you're watching this a month from now, the sale's probably over, but I'll list it below if you guys are watching it today on Tuesday. It's a great little stamp set. It's red rubber. There's 2 birthday sentiments in here, and then there's 4 balloons. One solid balloon, one has small tiny pin dots on it. One has some plaid print, and the other one has a diagonal stripe. So it's really super fun to just stamp and create with. I'm bringing in some white cardstock and the plaid balloon, which is one of the largest ones. Now there is a solid balloon in this stamp set too, so you could actually do layering. You could stamp with a solid and then maybe heat emboss with the plaid. I think that would be nice. But I'm just going to stamp the plaid with some Distress Oxide ink. This is Peacock Feathers. We'll pick it up and press down really good, and I love the way this looks. A while back I had created a card with the Sunday Drive die set. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I love the color combination of that, so that's what I was going for today. And I thought this color combination is kind of good for just about anyone, boys, girls, men, women, so I thought we'd use an almost similar color combination. I'm stamping the striped balloon with my spiced marmalade ink, and we are good to go. I'm not sure if this stamp set has coordinating dies or not. If I can find them, I'll list them down below. But for now, I don't have the die, so I'm just going to fussy cut out my balloons. Super easy. Now, in the stamp set, there is a bow, and then there's also some balloon strings that you could stamp with it, which were really, really pretty, guys. But I'm going to be bringing in some baker's twine. And so I have 2 different colors. I just went through my I have quite a bit of baker's twine. Thought I'd put them to good use. I have an orange and then a turquoise or teal color that work perfectly for the strings on our balloons. I'm just going to flip over my balloons after I fussy cut them out, and I did leave a little bit of a border. Close up, my balloons aren't that perfect, guys. Believe me, I can't. I can fussy cut regular images like animals or critters, but circles, I just can't get them smooth, but hopefully they're good enough for the recipient. But I added my string behind it just with my tape runner, and then I'm using a journey dot to add a small coordinating bow that I tied with that same baker's twine to each one of my balloons. I am going to trim down the tails of my teal colored bow here, and our balloons are almost ready. We're going to set these aside, and for my background I'm bringing in the Big Dots polka dot Big Dots embossing folder from Fun Stamper's Journey. Spellbinders actually coming out with a slimline in this, which is fabulous. I'm not sure if they'll come out with a Spellbinders embossing folder. Even though they're the same, Spellbinders embossing folders are nice because you just use your top cutting plate to run it through your die cutting machine. You don't have to bring in that blue embossing plate. Fun Stamper's Journey embossing folders, you have to do that. But I embossed my polka dots, and my panel is 4 inches by 5 1/4. We're going to create a photo frame using one of my photo frame dies. I've had this for a while, and I don't know if it's available anymore, guys, but creating a photo frame is very easy with a rectangle and a square die. I'll show you here in a moment. I know Spellbinders does have a photo frame die set. I'll list it below. I'll list a couple of them, photo frames that would probably work if you guys are interested. But to create one is very easy. Rectangle die, square die, layer them together. Of course the bottom area is bigger, so you just trim it off with your paper trimmer, and then you have an instant photo frame. So it's very easy to make with basic dies that you have in your stash. Okay, once this, we're going to use the inside piece too, and I do suggest if you do make your homemade photo frame to use just regular dies, not stitch dies, because you end up trimming off the bottom. But I stamped birthday wishes on the inside piece, kind of off to the left. We're going to save a little bit of room. Our strings of our balloons are going to hit the right side. Now I found some coordinating cardstock. This is the Color Essentials cardstock. I have the blue is Waterfall, and then the orange is Persimmon. Slowly learning my colors, but I have just scrap pieces. And I'm going to take those balloons that we stamped with earlier, and we're going to stamp the striped on the blue, the plaid on the orange, with our same Distress Oxide inks, doing a tone on tone. I wanted to create some little banners, and that's why our papers are so small, but I wanted some print on these little banners. So the balloons are just going to work great for adding a little bit of texture. Now my spice marmalade was a little too light. We'll fix that in a minute. We'll stamp our peacock feathers. That stamped beautifully. We're going to bring in Ripe Persimmon. Maybe a little bit darker and a better tone on tone that you can see. And I'm happier with the darker orange. So we have two little pieces. And next, I went through my stash to find some fishtail banners. The ones that I found actually have stitch detail. And I'm going to create a little side banner piece. And I'm just going to take the right side of my fishtail banner die and die cut out both of these little pieces. Just making sure that I have print on both of those. And then we're going to layer them together, kind of crisscrossing them almost eventually. And then we'll add a paper clip to them just to bring a little bit more color, because for the most part, my card's going to be white. I'm going to take some foam tape and we're going to pop up our photo frame. And then that's the nice thing about having the inside piece of the photo frame. Since we have an embossed background, we could actually stamp on a smooth surface. I'm just kind of playing around with where I want my birthday wishes to go. I know I wanted it at an angle because we're going to put the balloons to the right here. We're going to scoot it over just a bit, and then we'll add our photo frame right on top. Lovely. We're going to grab our balloons, and we're going to have to double up on the foam adhesive. I want this one layer higher than my photo frame. We're going to add our first balloon. And we're just going to let the strings of our balloon hang down. I need one more piece of foam, one more foam square under here. I'm going to tuck that under there so it's nice and even. And I already added adhesive behind this panel, which wasn't the brightest idea because it kept sticking to my mat. But I thought we'd better add the balloons first. We're going to add our second one. Again, we're going to double up on this adhesive and then add this right next to the photo frame. Don't you love this color combination? It just is cheery. Next, we'll pick this up, flip it over our panel. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive behind it, and this way we can tuck those balloon strings right behind it, and they'll just tack down. Since we have the dimension of the embossing folder, you're not going to really be able to tell that there's twine behind our panel. I'm going to add a little more adhesive behind here. And then this is going to go on a standard A2 size card base. And we'll just center it. And I got it upside down, which I'm glad I always check. It's a habit now for me to check to see if the opening's on the bottom. Because there's been a few times where I've got my projects upside down. Okay, we'll take our little banners. We're going to layer them together, kind of crisscrossing them. I'm going to use my scissors and trim off the end so we have a straight edge. And then I did use my tape runner to kind of glue them together. I'm going to go ahead and grab my paper clips. These are little mini paper clips from Spellbinders. I think these are on sale too. I love these little clips. You get so many, and then you get this cute little packaging that you can store them in. But I'm going to go ahead and add a paper clip to the end of my banners. Add that to the photo frame with a piece of foam tape so it's popped up kind of in the bottom area. And then we're going to bring in a little bit more color. In the stamp set, there's a trio of hearts, a trio of stars, and there's also some confetti. I chose the stars and stamped just a few around my photo frame area using the same color inks that we use for our balloons. And then I wanted to add a little bit of extra something, so I went through my stash and I have these iridescent stars. The last time I checked, these stars were out of stock over at the Simon shop, but if they are, I'll list an alternative that's pretty close to it. But I love these stars. They're from Studio Cadia. But I added a few stars, and then that finishes my card today, guys. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week for another Try It Out Tuesday. Have a great day. Bye-bye.